I've drifted off on the couch again, there beneath the crooked lamplight, book half open like a paper bird surrendering to twilight. I stand in the doorway, letting the very first hush tingle along my skin, telling my body to relax, pouring every thought into this single long whisper that slides softly through the room and finds you sunk so deep in sleep. Rain taps the balcony rail in that gentle West Coast rhythm, a rhythm meant for Galway lanes and late buses, and it all feels calm, so shh, now, love, no reason to wake. Let the night tickle the curtains while we breathe together. Your fringe is a bit fluffy where it's fallen over your eyebrow, and the whole picture is so peaceful. I can feel myself drift forward without even deciding to, chasing the pull of a silent snuggle, a magnetic comfort that plays like an invisible lullaby in my ribs. I pad closer, stocking feet on old boards, giving the faintest crispy creak, though even that little sound seems to sparkle and then soothe itself away, hushed by the steady tappy beat of rain. You look so handsome, so safe in the low glow, and every part of me whispers, I've got you. You matter. The strong set of your shoulder, even at rest, feels brave, feels loved, feels a breath away from being mine. My secret baby of the dark hours, doing so well at simply existing. In my mind, I crown you my king of quiet. I urge myself, let go. We're so proud of this hush. Your skin looks warm, inviting one slow, imagined kiss to settle deeper behind your ear, while I promise I'm here and nowhere else. There is such serenity in watching you, such a need to cherish this fragile instant where we almost belong to one another, two souls kept apart only by breath and bravery. You're the hidden treasure of my days, the tranquil center wrapped in ordinary flannel and soft denim that feels like velvet on my eyes. You, my accidental angel, lying slow and sweet in dreamland, make me want to pamper fate itself until we both glow. I ache to embrace this moment, to stay perfectly hushful, to whisper my dearest into the hush, so tender the word becomes a pulse of quiet wonder. The ceiling fan hushes above, circling a silver promise of endless night and paper-thin harmony that seems to guide my steps like a drifting feather. Each motion delicate, mellow, easy as a breeze. I adore you, and I want to caress every thought you'll never share. Want to nuzzle the secret gleam hiding at the corner of your mouth. Want to trace the shimmer where lamplight kisses your cheekbone. It's frightening how soothing it is merely to murmur love into the dark, weaving a word-soft cocoon around us, building a castle of cloud and pillow and blanket, letting feelings gather in little hushling bursts until each breath is a downy cushion holding my heart still. I am patient. I've taken a silent vow to trust the quiet, to listen to your breathing like a sermon of yearning until my own heartbeat finds hope in the nearness, until the whole room thickens with closeness and the shy belief that maybe destiny slid a gentle shelter over us tonight, stretching from street light to shadow, horizon to soft-lit horizon, hemming us into one private little universe. So I stand steady, fully present, guarding this hidden spark, while I cradle you in my gaze, drinking the slow honey of every exhale. You shift, a tiny sound, a restful hum, and the hush turns into a living lost paths beyond the Blarney fields, where stones remember names we've yet to carve together. I want forest moss under our elbows, while we laugh at midges and make up constellations in fog-blurred sky. I want old pubs that smell of turf fire and stout, tables sticky with stories, where your shoulder leans into mine and neither of us moves away. I want your Sunday morning stretch, your Tuesday evening ache, your Friday victory grin when work finally lets go. I want to know how you take your tea when grief is visited. Want to keep that recipe written in my bones so I can brew it without asking, without fuss, exactly the way your granddad taught you. Strong, steady, a spoon of sugar only when the day's been especially cruel. I picture slipping a note beside your cereal, something silly, something bold, maybe a doodle of you as a wandering night, maybe just 3 words I still don't dare speak. I picture you finding it, rolling your eyes, but pocketing the scrap anyway. I see us sidestepping tourists along the Liffey, shoulders touching just enough to feel like a secret. I see us tangled by the fire when December storms wrap their cold bones around the city. I see us carrying groceries, dropping half of them because my elbow brushed your hip, and we both laughed too hard to care. Ordinary magic, that's what you are. The alchemy of kettle steam curling around your laugh, the spell cast by freckles across a shy smile, the quiet miracle of a person who loves the world so openly, even after the world has been rough with you, has broken promises you were brave enough to believe. You still look at sunsets like they owe you nothing and give you everything. And I think that might be why I can't stop looking at you. But there's a shadow running under all this light, an ache stitched into every heartbeat. I have a secret too, buried deep beneath the banter, under the borrowed jumpers, behind the late-night horror marathons where I pretend I'm not watching you more than the film. I'm terrified, terrified you'll never know, terrified you'll find out and feel cornered by love you didn't ask for, terrified that someday you'll turn that sweet face toward me and tell me in the kindest voice that your heart is already spoken for. And what then? How does one fold away a star? How does one respectfully bury all this fire? Maybe that's why tonight feels almost supernatural, like the universe is holding its breath with me, waiting, deciding whether to nudge me forward or cradle me in silence a little longer. So I let the mystery keep pace with the longing. I let my eyes linger on the delicate blue vein under your wrist, wondering how fate might draw a map from that pulse to mine. I study the secrets of your slumber, searching for clues. Does your dream's soft brow mean hope? Does the twitch of your finger mean come closer? I almost laugh at myself, but the moment is too reverent, too thick with sweetness. Instead, I reach, slowly, so slowly, until my fingertip kisses a loose strand of hair curled near your temple. I push it back with the lightest touch imaginable, and though you don't wake, a shiver passes through you, tiny, gentle, like your spirit recognized mine and answered. Spice sizzles in my veins now, a soft-edged want that goes beyond tender. I imagine what it would feel like to slide my knuckles down the line of your jaw, to watch goose flesh rise on your neck when my breath nestles there. I imagine tasting the salt sweet hollow under your collarbone, whispering poetry against your pulse. Verses too old for textbooks. Verses born from every song session, in every snug where fiddles wept for souls not yet lost. I imagine your fingers threading through my hair, pulling me nearer with a certainty that melts fear into cinder. Not tonight, perhaps, not while you sleep, but someday. Someday when you look at me and finally see what's burning here. Desire, yes, deep and steady, but also devotion, affection, a love fierce enough to hold mystery without needing to solve it, to hold your dreams without needing to own them. I try to picture the moment you might finally wake and catch me here. Will your eyes soften first, or widen in surprise? Will you grin that crooked grin, tease me for staring? Or will you swallow hard, because maybe you've been stealing glances too? The thought tightens my chest in the best, most terrifying way. I let it linger, let it season the silence like pepper on broth, and still I stay rooted, refusing to move, because there is something holy about watching you breathe and realizing the entire city could fall away, and I would feel nothing but the wish for you to keep dreaming peacefully. Hours stretch, rain shifts to drizzle, to mist so faint it's almost memory. Somewhere a fox barks, distant, hidden. Somewhere a taxi splashes through a puddle and fades into night. Time becomes elastic, winding around our living room sanctuary until I can't tell how long I've been whispering these confessions to the dark. Long enough that my throat grows dry and my spine begins to ache. Yet I remain, because the desire is no longer just mine. It feels like the room itself exhales want, like the walls lean in to listen. My words become slower, deeper, warmer, each one a bead on a rosary of longing. Click, 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 litanies of yearning broken only by the steady anchor of your breathing. I find myself promising you things you can't hear, that I'll be patient as rain on limestone, steady as tide against the iron rocks, that I'll guard your secrets like a sworn sister of the old ways, that I'll learn the shape of every scar you carry and call each one by its true name. Survivor, brave, beautiful. I promise to be wild with you when the moon is drunk and the music's loud, to be still with you when grief visits in the small hours, to laugh with you at nothing, to fight for you against anything, to keep believing in you even when you forget how. And as mystery flickers back in, soft, flickering candlelight searching the corners, I wonder if maybe you chose this couch on purpose. Maybe you knew I'd find you. Maybe somewhere inside that dream of yours, you're standing on a cliff with hair whipping back, staring out to sea, waiting for one more soul to climb the path and stand beside you. Maybe destiny is less a lightning bolt and more a slow-growing ivy, winding two people together, inch by silent inch. So I keep whispering. I whisper of warm sands in Connemara we haven't walked yet, of Spanish nights we haven't shared yet, of starlit fields we haven't kissed in yet. I whisper of the way your laughter sounds like river water over smooth stones, of how your anger is thunder that clears the sky for sun, of how your kindness is dawn on frost, quiet, persistent, unstoppable. I whisper of my own mystery too, the dreams I hide in notebooks, the scars I hide under jokes, the fears I hide behind calm nods. I tell you that I'm yours to unravel if you ever wish to, that every knot untied will reveal another ribbon of love ready to wrap around your hands. Desire rises again, stronger. I imagine waking you with nothing but the brush of my lips at your hairline, whispering your name until it becomes a mantra, a spell, a promise. I imagine your sleepy murmur, the warmth of your palm finding my wrist, the way you might pull me down beside you, drowsy and trusting. I imagine the heat of your thigh against mine, the sigh that escapes us both when gravity does the rest. But I stop there, because tonight is about watching, about holding one like a candle, close enough to feel its heat, far enough not to burn. Outside, the rain finally folds into silence. Dawn is still hours away, but the blackness now holds a blue hint, like ink diluted at the edges. My legs protest, so I ease myself onto the floor, sitting cross-legged beside you, forearm resting on the cushion near your shoulder. I trace circles on the fabric, tiny, absent-minded tappy spirals, pretending each one is a love letter drawn on your skin. And I talk again, softer still, about the day we first met, how you spilled coffee down your jumper and laughed like it was the best punchline of the year, how I knew then that anyone who could laugh at their own chaos was someone I needed to keep near. I remind you of that night we walked home after the gig, riverside lights shimmering, and you told me how the famine stories still make you cry. I tell you, I wanted to reach for your hand, but swallowed the urge, too shy to take that liberty. I confess the tiny moments you've forgotten that I've stored like pressed flowers, the way you saved a drowning bee from the windowsill, the way you offered your umbrella to a stranger in the queue, the way you squeezed my arm when I told you my mother's health was failing, as if you were pouring courage straight through your fingertips. Mystery deepens. I start speaking of dreams I've had, strange, shimmering visions where we stand in ruins older than time, green moss glowing under ghostly moon, where stones hum beneath our feet, and somewhere beyond the mist, an ancient choir sings our names. In those dreams, you are always turning toward me just before I wake, always about to say something that splits the world open. I tell you, I think those dreams might be prophecies, or metaphors, or maybe just wishful art fire. But all the same, they feel true in some hidden corner. I circle back to Spice. Let the hush heat up again. I whisper how I crave the taste of your skin after you come back from a run, salted with effort and life. How I imagine sliding my hand under the hem of your tee just to feel the defined slope of your hip. How I want to kiss the laughter lines at the edge of your mouth, earn deeper ones until age weaves silver through our hair. I whisper how I want to wake you one morning with my breath at your shoulder, telling you it's snowing, coaxing you outside barefoot so we can leave twin prints across the yard and then tumble back inside, shaking cold from our limbs, hearts pounding from the silly risk of it. Somewhere between one mystery and the next, I become aware of my own exhaustion, yet I refuse to leave you. Instead, I lower my head to the cushion near yours, close enough to feel the ghost warmth of your breath against my forehead. I whisper one final tale, a quiet vision of us in an old stone cottage by the sea, wind-rattling windows while we sit before a peat fire. Outside, gulls cry, waves crash, but inside there's only soft lamplight, 2 mugs, and music spinning from a crackling radio. You look over, eyes bright with that half-mischievous, half-tender light I adore, and say, "We made it, didn't we?" And I answer, "I love, we did." I leave the vision there, lingering, hovering like a bless me cloud above our dreaming heads. I breathe a last whispered benediction. Sleep easy, heart of mine. Know you are wanted, desired, adored, protected. When dawn comes, I'll still be here, and if someday you wake and feel brave enough to ask why I never left, I'll take your hand and tell you every secret you've heard tonight. Only louder, only prouder, only finally answered. And with that promise swirling in the softened dark, I let silence settle at last. Wind carries the first thin birdsong up the lane. You sigh, roll the tiniest inch nearer to me, and in the fragile hush before morning I understand that love, real love, is patient enough to fill 1,000 nights of longing, ready when the hour is right to blossom from whisper into welcome.